You remember last week we watched that $100,000 duel between Technoblade and Dream. Today, we get feedback from the expert himself, Techno. Welcome back, friends, and a special welcome to all the new friends out there. I'm YoBGS, player of games, and as of the time you are seeing this, I'm going to be streaming live on Twitch, twitch.tv/YoBGS, my very first Minecraft hardcore world. I'm hoping the world survives the stream. Now, I watched the $100,000 duel between Technoblade and Dream. Now, as a part of that, I said if the video did well, and it did, we were going to watch some of the analysis from the expert himself. And we're going to start with Technoblade this time. And maybe if this does well, I'll watch some of the animatics. I know you guys have been recommending a lot of Satis as well. But without further ado, let's get into Technoblade, Dream vs. Technoblade, $100,000 duel analysis. Well, and like I said, if this video does well, I'll keep checking out some of the animations for the $100,000 duel and some other stuff related to it. If you want the video to do well, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Now, let's get into it. How exactly did Technoblade manage to beat Dream in the 100K duel?
Last Thursday, I did a 1v1 with Dream for $100,000. Now, Mr. Beast has already made a video about this, and I am assuming you've watched it before this video. If you haven't, a link is in the description. Go watch it first. Now, I have a lot to say about this 1v1. It was one of the most stressful.
I love when Technoblade says he has a lot to say about something. It ends up being a 10-minute video. When I say I've got a lot to say about something, it's like a two-hour-long video. But I'm excited for this. And yeah, you would have had to have seen the original first. I swear, like, when Mr. Beast uploads, they pretty much just put it on your phone.
Stressful things I have ever done in my life because the stakes were just so high. But I'm going to save that for another day. Right now, I just want to do an analysis of the 10 fights. I want to go over them in detail because I think in the video you can't really see everything that happened. Hopefully you guys are a bit more interested in PvP analysis than Mr. Beast is.
Techno, what are your thoughts on that last duel?
I think I was in the lead, but then at the end I gave up on the axe crit. Oh my god, this guy is the biggest nerd I've ever met. Why did I ask this question? I regret everything. So this
Yeah, I mean, that is a thing journalists do. Like, they ask a question, and then they don't even really listen for the answer because they have their next question preloaded. So then you get somebody like Techno who's giving actual good analysis, and you're like, dude, I was going to ask you if you think you're going to win the duel next. Can you say something that's going to let me ask that question?
This is the first duel. It's in 1.8, which is generally considered to be my strong suit. Now, Dream actually wanted the first duel to be in 1.8, although it was decided by coin flip, but I'm thinking his reasoning was that he's done a lot of training in this mode, so he's probably thinking, like, if he can beat me in the first round in my own game mode, I'll become super stressed and then play worse and lose by a lot.
Makes
Unfortunately
sense.
for him, that's my secret captain. I'm always stressed, so I throw down some banter in the chat before the duel begins. Dream really wants me to walk over to him, and I'm just staring at him because it's not happening, dude. It's not happening. I'm content to stall and to fish and rod him because if I do this for another 45 minutes, his armor will break for me hitting him with the rod. So he goes in, he gets it. It doesn't matter. It does matter that he gets the first hit because I'm just gonna regen, and I'm luring him back. Now I'm doing two things here. I'm adjusting to like the ping and his strafe patterns. I'm getting in the zone, but I'm also luring him to this position for a strategical reason, which you'll see in a second here.
All right, that's something I never thought of. And I'll stop as I learn things, because that seems like the best way to sort of point them out as we go. The thought that you, in a new game like this, the first thing you would want to do is adjust to the ping, figure out what your lag is. That makes sense. I guess I just always assumed that the lag is going to be horrible, and I never think about how you can work within the parameters of it. I've said that before, right? You blame lag for everything, but if you do like Techno does and you get used to what the lag is going to be, however big or small, you can work with it. And then, you can have the other person blaming lag, whereas you are kind of wrecking when it comes to it.
Bam. I've knocked him onto the ledge. This is huge. The reach you can hit people from begins at the player's eyes, so when Dream is a block higher than me, it's much easier for me to hit his feet than for him to hit my head because the base of a right triangle is shorter than the hypotenuse. Stay in school, kids. It makes you better at PvP. Now, of course, Dream also graduated from middle school. He knows about the triangle, so he tries to escape, but not before I get 2 free hits on him.
All right, that's awesome, too, because I thought that you wanted to be higher than somebody, because if you are, again, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, by the way, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of those. I thought if you were higher than somebody, your chance of getting a crit goes up like a lot. I don't know what the percentage is or anything, but I thought your goal was you want the high ground, because that'll help you get more crits on your opponent. So I guess, probably wouldn't have made much sense for Dream to crouch, because I'm guessing that wouldn't have helped all that much either.
And then he hits me with a bow a bit, but I don't really care because I'm just going to hit him with the bow right back and then finish him off with the rod trick.
Nice.
I think
Well
my rod
played.
PvP at the start could have used some more work, but overall a pretty convincing victory. And we head into the second round, which is 1.16 PvP, which Dream is more known for. Now I'm going into this thinking that the first thing I need to do is find a tree and punch it to collect wood, but the second thing I need to do is place a tactical crafting table. Now this is considered a forbidden technique in PvP circles. I'm not actually allowed to explain it because I had to get permission to learn this technique from the Minecraft elders, so you guys are going to have to figure that one out on your own. I'm sorry, but we just can't let that knowledge get into the wrong hands. Now, we're both playing a bit cautiously here. I think 1.9 PvP, it really...
Did Dream have a crafting table? Why did he... Hang on. I mean, I know the tactical crafting table thing is a
PvP,
joke,
which Dream is more known for. Now I'm going into
why
this
did
thinking
he
that
do
the first
that?
thing I need to do is find a tree and punch it to collect wood, but the second thing I need to do is place a tactical crafting table. Now this is considered a
Crafting
forbidden
table.
technique in PvP circles. I'm not actually allowed to explain it because I had to get permission to learn this technique from the Minecraft elders, so you guys are going to have to figure that one out on your own. I'm sorry, but we just can't let that...
Yeah, obviously that's a work, right? Obviously he's not, at least I don't think anyway, he's doing anything with the crafting table other than throwing Dream off his game. But it's weird that Dream would have been surprised by that, because wouldn't Dream also have a crafting
knowledge
table,
get into
you'd
the
think?
wrong hands. Now we're both playing a bit cautiously here. I think 1.9 PvP, it really favors the defender, so I'm trying to get hits in before I go full on aggro, and I'm trying to use the shield because axe crits are the biggest thing in 1.9. I'm trying to use the shield to disable an axe crit and get one for free. And now at this point I'm thinking I have a health lead, I can safely commit to the fight. And again,
Yeah, you would think
I get
he'd
some
have to have a
damage there.
crit
Now I miss the crit there, which is gonna be a problem, and we start trading hits. But unfortunately I start to stumble here towards the end, and Dream manages to pull the win and equalize it. So we
Man,
head into the third.
it's so stressful to watch, even knowing how all of this pans out, just because, like, I think of all the times that I've played PvP in the weeks since this, because I've been playing a bunch trying to kind of learn this game, and it's interesting to see, like, how they know exactly when to swing. Like, what is one pixel too close and what's one pixel too far away? And obviously that's the kind of thing that can only come with experience, but you watch it and you're like, you feeling like things shouldn't land when they really are.
The score is tied 1-1, and since it's my version, I really need to win this one, otherwise things are going to be looking really bad for me. Just like last time, there's this awkward 20-second period where we just stare at each other and rod from like 10 blocks away, but I don't want to charge him there because he was on the lower half slab, because again, the triangles. Now here, I think I'm down on the health in this exchange, so I'm stalling. I'm staring at him like, oh yeah, I'm about to shoot this guy, but really I know he's going to sit there and block, so I'm waiting for my health to regenerate.
I always forget you can parry.
Unfortunately,
I always forget that parrying is a thing, and in that situation,
it's
probably
the arrow
really
there,
smart.
which knocks me down another heart. Now I'm trying to escape here so I can heal up, but Dream isn't letting it happen, so I decide to head into the fight. Now I know I'm down health here. I have to get a free hit, so I use the bow. I get a free hit there, and now we're about equal. Say it with me. Not even close. Oh my god.
So wait, again, that's my question. I know jumping, but then again, I guess if you jump, you're not a full block higher than somebody, so it wouldn't make that much of a difference. Because I was going to say, why would you want to jump and raise... I know it's for the ability to get crits, but my thought was, why would you want to jump and make it so that you have to get closer in order to get that hit when they on the ground could hit you while you're in the air? But I guess it wouldn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things, because again, the height you're jumping is different than the height of being up one block.
Oh, Techno!
That was so close.
Oh
My heart! I go into the fourth round with a 2-1 lead,
Hey,
but now we're...
how great would it have been for this if they had heart monitors on both these guys? Like, I'm not telling Mr. Beast how to do his job, but I feel like for the amount of money he probably made off of this duel, sending them something to just get a little bit of a pulse would probably be hilarious. Because I feel like either Technoblade would not be as nervous as he claims, and he'd actually be cool as a cucumber, or it would be like 270, and they'd be trying to get like medical intervention because, technically he's like having a heart attack while he's
playing on
playing.
1.16, which Dream has a lot more experience with. I try to raise my shield, but accidentally shear the ground, or whatever you call this mechanic. All I know is that I clearly did not take my ADHD medicine this morning because I immediately become distracted and completely forget about the duel for about 10 seconds. But then I remember, oh right, $100,000, and go back in for the kill. Now Dream and I, we're staring at each other. I shear the ground a bit more. So we're staring at each other. Dream goes in, gets the first hit, and then just kind of sits there and lets me heal because he just really does not want to go on the offensive. And then are we gonna hit each other? Oh, Dream hits me.
So in that respect, I was sort of right. Because in my initial analysis of the duel, I pointed out that Dream is like a counterpuncher. Like he's waiting for Techno to make the mistakes, and Techno is more the aggressor, which does make for a good fight. The thing you don't want in a situation like this is two people that play defensively, and then they just dance around all day, and you have to end up enforcing like time limit measures. But yeah, it definitely looks like 1.16 favors sort of the defender, which is why it would favor
Again,
Dream.
He's like, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna let you heal. So before I go in for the kill on 1.9, I want the enemy to make at least 2 mistakes, and here you see Dream's second mistake is letting me get a bunch of these axe crits for free. Of course, his first mistake was challenging me in the first place. Now I know he has less health than me, so I'm going in. He's trying to escape because health regeneration is really fast in 1.9, but he's cornered. He can't get away, and I am perfectly content here to just trade axe crits until one of us dies because I know that it'll be him. And I take my first win in 1.16.
See, that
Heading
part
into
of it,
the
at
5th
least
round, I have a 3-1 lead, and now that
that match actually seemed fairly like evenly balanced, I would say. Meaning, Techno knew he got the lead, and then it was just a matter of playing things out. So he didn't seem as stressed about it, which is kind of nice because in learning how to do stuff, like PvP and things, you have to learn how to win. I know it sounds like a weird thing to say, but learning to win means when you have a distinct advantage, getting the actual victory is a big thing. Because in a lot of games, I'm thinking more like real-time strategy games, you'll find out that you have a lead, and then there are some players that will kind of rest on their laurels, and then they'll end up getting overtaken because they never actually closed out the game. And that is something that I feel like that's a huge deal, especially in something like this, where, the average person would be like, I have the lead on Dream, but I'm not going to go after him. I'm not going to capitalize on that, and then all of a sudden you lose your lead.
I've beaten Dream in his version. He has to beat me at least once in my version before the end of the duel, or he's guaranteed to lose. Dream uses a lot of his arrows at the start of the fight, and I'm not sure why, so I figure, hey, I'm just going to shoot him, but why not? But I miss. He goes in for the attack, and I get 1 hit, but he gets 2, so he's got a little bit of a lead at this point, and I try to shoot him to just sort of make up for it a little bit. I want to pick up this arrow here on the ground, but it does not work out. He actually manages to pick up the arrow before me. Get a free shot there, another free shot, and now I'm sitting here. I'm feeling pretty confident at this point. Like, I have a mild health lead. Ooh, another arrow. Now he's blocking.
That is, oh man, okay. So I'm stopping here because that's textbook ADD. He's like, I've got an advantage. I'm doing that. Ooh, an arrow. And immediately just distracted, gets back in the game, though.
Less damage, but I don't care because I feel like at this point I have a slight health lead, so I can go in for the kill. And while it is true that I had a slight health lead, at the very end here, Dream gets some very good rods and manages to take back the win and make this score 3-2. Now I'm going to gloss over rounds 6, 7, and 8 a bit since I think they're pretty standard, but as you can see here, Dream, he's using his shield a lot more than I am. He blocked the crossbow bolt earlier. I get a free hit there,
That's a good spot to be in.
Shield to disable my hit, gets another axe crit, and I lose the round.
Well, it looked like it was a good spot to be in. So, again, my question is, why did Techno let him down? If the point is having the 1 block advantage, and it was pretty even at that point, and Dream is jumping at you, Dream's even higher, right? So it would seem like he could have just continued to juggle Dream as Dream was jumping at him and then play defense on letting Dream down. But again, like, I'm sure there's perfectly valid reasons why he didn't, and I'm sure that they're way smarter than my analysis, but that's what I'm starting to think of. If the block advantage is so good, why not make the most of it?
Round with the score tied 3-3, but it's 1.8, so I should win this one. I knocked Dream onto the platform, but he's learned his lesson. So I try to get a free hit here with the bow, and I actually succeed. He dodged the arrow, but I get the free hit while his movements is messed up, and I win the round. I go into the 8th round with a 4-3 lead.
It's about like having multiple angles of attack, essentially, because you notice in none of these do they ever actually go with just one thing. Whether or not it's also like axe and shield, whether or not it's bow, rod, and sword. Like, there's always multiple mechanisms to try and get an advantage, which I think, for me, for new players in particular, it seems like a big thing to remember because you think like, all right, I got my sword, all right, I got my axe, I'm good to go. But in reality, you kind of need to be keeping an eye on everything else that's happening too.
Either of the next two, I'm guaranteed to at least tie and get $50,000. But 2 of the 3 remaining duels, including this one, are in 1.16, which Dream is doing much better at, so we'll have to see. I get a free hit. Disable a shield, but he disables mine. I get another hit there, a crossbow bolt, but he crits me with the axe as I reload my crossbow. I shoot him back, but the axe crit, it does a lot more damage than the crossbow. We're trading hits here. I pull out my sword, but it doesn't work because swords are purely ornamental in 1.16. It's round 9 and the score is tied 4-4. If I want to win this duel, I have to win both of the remaining fights, but I'm already down to 7 hearts. Fortunately, I have something that Dream doesn't: comprehensive knowledge of ancient China. In a flash of inspiration, I remember that in 2...
Comprehensive knowledge of ancient China. When King Zheng unrolled the map, Zheng Qi immediately seized a revealed dagger, grabbed the king's clothes, and attacked him. Summoned him back, lifting the initial dust by tearing off his sleeve in the process. King Zheng fled from his attacker on foot. He attempted to draw the own sword by his belt, but was unable to do so despite running desperately with a very long ceremonial sword. There of the keen officials were vicinity. So he circled the pillar in the cave.
27 BCE, King Zhang once escaped from his assassin by circling behind a pillar. I replicate this mid-fight and heal to full health. Fast forward a bit, Dream donates an arrow to me before we begin the final exchange.
Nice. Yeah, getting the double hit. So again, it's like the things that I'm learning here are amazing. That the juggle, the double hits, like that is the stuff to be on the lookout for. And I think, again, check me if I'm wrong, but I think those are like W hits, right? Because he's dashing and hits Dream, which knocks Dream back, but then he keeps the dash going, and so he closes in, so he knocks him up and then hits. It's basically like an air juggle that you would see in a lot of fighters.
Yes! And so we enter the final round. I only get one chance if I want to secure this victory, and if I want to do it, I'll have to beat Dream at his own version.
Yeah, but you already got 50K.
I mess with the floor a bit because why not? And Dream wants to fight me there, but I don't want to give him even a half slab of low ground, so I circle around the pillar. We're getting ready to fight each other here. Mess with the floor a bit more because it's just what you got to do. I get a free hit there because Dream lets go of his shield. A second hit and a crossbow to the foot. I start to go in. He's imitating King Zhang's tactics, but it's just not the same. He gets a good crit though. I get the crossbow bolt, and thus we begin the final exchange.
Yeah, and it's wild to see from Techno's point of view just how outnumbered Dream was in landed shots in the battle, right? Because in Mr. Beast, unfortunately, a lot of the observers were so far away, and I feel like in some instances they were so laggy that you couldn't really get a good sense of what was going on. It's why I rewound a lot when I was watching that video. But in this one, it's like, Techno's outscoring Dream on a lot of exchanges 2-1. And so it's really interesting to be able to see it from that perspective.
Oh my... Bro, I can't believe this.
$100,000.
Oh, I did it.
And Techno did it with higher ping. Techno had like 80 ping and Dream had like 40.
I did it! Oh my god!
Techno, congratulations.
I'm genuinely...
You just won $100,000.
I genuinely cannot process this. And so I won the duel and finally restored my Minecraft honor. Now I have a lot more to say about the duel, what like led up to it, how I trained for it, how I felt about it. There's so much to talk about, but I just wanted to get an analysis of the fights out first. So the one thing I have to say is that Dream and I, we really don't want our fans to start attacking each other as a result of this duel. We both played very well. We don't have actual beef. It's all video games. Yeah. But until the next video comes out, I'll see you next time. Oh, and one last thing. We win these!
There it is. Y'all better click on this end screen. Okay, I'll click. Nothing happened. I clicked on the end screen. But, yeah, I mean, you got to be happy for someone like Techno who has just kind of done his thing, right? He's gone his own way. He's been making his own content for a while. In Hypixel, which, correct me if I'm wrong, was not exactly super popular before he kind of helped make it as popular as it was. Actually, I don't think it's even really been around for that long, so that may be part of the reason too. But you got to be happy for him for taking home the dub. At that point, though, the question I wanted to ask, or I would want to ask Techno, and Techno, if you're watching, feel free to let me know in the comments. Were you at that point disappointed that you had agreed before the battle to split the money? Because I know you were nervous and I know you wanted to perform well, but at least my comments have said that you guys agreed to split the money ahead of time. So were you bummed that you could have had $100,000, or do you think that it helped going through the entire process to not have the pressure of the $100,000 on your shoulders? Because he was already stressed out, right? And the added stress of $50K would probably be a pretty big deal, I would imagine. Yeah, I've never played for anything that big in my life. I think the most I've ever played. Well, I don't know. I was in like a high school poker tournament. That was a pretty big deal. Pretty high stakes there until, everyone got thrown out because the dude's mom showed up. But that is going to do it for me for today. Do you want me to check out more related to the 100K duel, or to move on to some other stuff? Again, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget, I am live. Hardcore World. We're doing it in Java. I know, I'm nervous as well. Twitch.tv/YoBGS. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And as always, I will see you for the Salty Run Back. Take care, my friends.